Hey everyone, Max here from MinMax blog. Today, Min and I are doing what we call a Min-Max battle, where we take a bunch of different decks, pit them against each other, and see who wins. We usually play for a small prize. I think we're doing 20 tickets this time around. So there's something on the line. We want to try our best. And so the decks I am bringing to this Min-Max battle are Doomsday, which has kind of been my bread and butter deck these days. Got me a Showcase Challenge top 8, stuff like that. Been just winning a lot with it. Dredge, which I don't play often, but I think it's a curveball that I don't think Min will expect or had expected. He knows what we're on now. This Dredge list is interesting. It's got a Lotus Petal, but let me... It's got these cards in the sideboard, so it's got an Oko in the board. I copied this off of a top-performing Dredge list, since I don't really know enough about Dredge to have my own opinions. It's also got a Hogak and an Ashen Rider in the main deck, so it's got some stuff to Dread Return. Or it's got, Ashen Rider, Dread Return, Hogak, you can just cast with, like, Ichorids. The third deck I'm playing is Gyruda Bomberman, which I really enjoy playing. So it's not like the Gyruda deck from Companion Hell where you just make infinite copies of Gyruda. What this is a fairly standard kind of Bomberman with Auriok Salvager's LED Walking Ballista combo. Also has Karn the Great Creator, which can fetch out Mycosynth Lattice or Liquid Metal Coating. It's got Ranger of Eos, which you can tutor up 2 copies of Stonecoil Serpent, or Walking Ballista, whatever suits your fancy. Urza, which of course is insane in this kind of deck because you make a ton of mana. Technically, Auriok Salvagers plus LED plus Urza is deterministic, I say in air quotes, because it's really difficult to execute on Moto. But with infinite mana, you can activate Urza, the 5 mana Mind's Desire, to cast a card for free, unlimited times. So you basically draw your deck, you can cast your deck for free. So it does go infinite a lot of ways, and what Gyruda does is it just gives you another way to spend a bunch of mana, and mills 4, so you can mill over, say, like LEDs or Walking Ballistas or what have you, and then put, say, an Auriok Salvagers or an Urza that you mill over into play. So it's a really powerful deck developed by a Japanese MTGO player named Kanakan. So they win a lot with this deck, and so I basically copied it. I switched out the spatial contortions for Warping Whales just because overall I think that the Warping Whales do a little bit better in the metagame, like they counter a Doomsday or a Show and Tell or what have you. So I like them, and they both almost like kill the same things. And then my fourth deck is a deck I've been playing for fun, Blue-Black Ninjas. So the idea here is that you get a cheap creature like an Ornithopter or a Changing Outcast into play, or a Baleful Strix, have it attack, go unblocked, and then you ninjutsu in an Ingenious Infiltrator, which whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage, draw a card, or Eureka, which kind of does the same thing, except you flip the card and it deals damage to your opponent based off of the card's converted mana cost. Changeling Outcast, of course, is also a ninja, since it's a shapeshifter, so Changeling. So that works that way. It's also, of course, a Thopter, so you can sacrifice it to Retrofitter Foundry to create 4/4 constructs. So it's a fun kind of tempo deck that isn't Delver, it's a bit more interesting. So those are the decks I've brought to the table. I am going to play Dredge against Min first, open up with Dredge to kind of surprise him. So how we're doing this battle is a little bit different than usual. What we're doing is we pick a deck, we play. The loser gets to ban one of their opponent's decks. Doesn't have to be the deck that just played against, but you lose, you can say, okay, Min, you can't play Hogak anymore. Oh, by the way, yeah, Min is registering some interesting stuff, but yeah. So you can't play Hogak anymore, for instance, and then he would choose from 3 decks, and then if I lost again, I would ban another one of his decks, and so on and so forth. And if all of his decks get banned, then he wins. So those are the 4 decks I'm bringing. Min is bringing Snow Miracles, which looks like this. It's the one that Mark Eric Votes is playing, Pemin, or Baby, as known. Got 7 force effects, Jace, Oko, Archmage's Charm, which is scary for Doomsday. Good card. Rug Delver, standard boogeyman of the format. Goblins, which is not a deck I often associate with Min. It is red and creature-based as opposed to blue and not creature-based. And Hogak, which is his kind of other wild card deck, which you wouldn't expect Min to be playing. So I'm going to challenge Min with Dredge and start off this MinMax battle. I'll see you all in a minute. Hey everyone, we are back for round 1 against Min of MinMax battle. Min rolled a 6, I rolled a 5 on the die roll. Very unlucky. No, I'm kidding, but it's funny that way. So our hand has an LED and a Grave Troll. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this hand because I'm on the draw. I'm going to discard to hand size to discard Grave Troll. Then on my turn, I'm going to Cephalid Coliseum with LED and get a bunch of dredges in that way. Looks like he is on starting on Goblins. Let me pull over those deck lists 1 second. Ooh, Goblin Lackey. That's really scary. Okay, so now with this breakthrough, I think my play is a little bit different because I don't think I can afford to wait a turn and have this Lackey connect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Cephalid Coliseum. I'm going to play LED. I'm going to break through for 0, hold priority, and crack LED for triple red, hoping to hit a Faithless Looting. So I break through for 0, crack LED for red. Let's pop out my graveyard, since that's an important part of this game. And the first thing I will do is Dredge Grave Troll, Dredge Golgari Thug, Dredge Golgari Thug, Dredge Stinkweed. 4 dredges is nice. And then I discard my entire hand. Got a Narcomoeba into play. And then I have 1 Bridge from Below in the graveyard. I have a Faithless Looting, so let's do a Faithless Looting first. And I can dredge Grave Troll and Grave Troll, discard them both. Now I have multiple bridges, so this is very fortunate. So now what I can do is I can Therapy Min and name... I have 3 bridges, that's great. So what I can do is I can Therapy Min and name Muxus, which is the scariest card in my opinion. And he has 2 ringleaders as well. So now what I can do is I have a Hogak in here. So I can cast Hogak, pitch 3, 4, 5. And then what I can do is I can Therapy him again, sacrificing Hogak. Then I can name the Goblin Ringleaders, since there's 2 of those. Okay, Min has seen enough. Then what I was going to do is I was going to recast Hogak, Cabal Therapy the War Marshal, and then I was going to Dread Return on Ashen Rider and get rid of the land. So that was my plan for the game. Min got sick of it. So let's look at Min's deck list. So he's got 2 Chalices in the sideboard. He's got 2 Leyline of the Void. So those are the things, and a Relic of Progenitus. So those are the cards I really need to worry about answering. So Chalice, of course, is scary on 1, but he doesn't have mana acceleration. So I'm anticipating that if a Chalice runs out, it's going to be on 0. So that makes me think that Nature's Claim is going to be a better card than Stern Dismissal, because Nature's Claim can also blow up Aether Vial. Now, I think that when the game plan gets hamstrung a bit, the Dread Return and Ashen Rider get to become weaker cards. Cabal Therapy is probably still pretty good against goblins, is my guess, due to the fact that a lot of goblins are revealed over the course of the game. But I don't want to trim any of my enablers because I don't know the deck well enough to do that. So what I'm going to do is cut those three. I guess I should also bring in a Lotus Petal. And I can cut one more Cabal Therapy. Let's cut Cabal Therapies because mine don't match, and that was a mistake. Also, with extra Lotus Petals, I can technically just like play a Golgari Thug or Narcomoeba on the draw, which I am, in order to line up better against like a turn 1 Lackey. Do I want to bring in Stern Dismissal? Maybe. It's also good against turn 1 Lackey and blows up Leyline of the Void. In that case, I'm cutting 2 more cards. I guess I'm cutting the therapies. You know, I'm going to cut bridges, or a couple bridges, just because Goblins has so many ways of like blowing up bridges. Just between like sacrifice a goblin effects, they can sacrifice goblin tokens. They can choose not to pay for Mog War Marshal, what have you. So that's my plan. Okay, so this hand casts a turn 1. Doesn't have any blow up your leyline stuff, but what it does is it casts Cabal Therapy or Faithless Looting on turn 1, which I think it makes it worth it. They always say no fear when playing Dredge, right? So, no fear. Oh, no leyline, great. There's the Lackey. So I think my plan on this turn is to actually Cabal Therapy Min and name Muxus. And then next turn I can both Faithless Looting and Breakthrough. So that's my plan. That's City of Brass has to trigger. Name Muxus. Muxus Goblin Grandee. And a hit. Okay, so now there's an Ether Vial. I wonder if Min is going to hold up the Pyroblast or play the Ether Vial. Either way, he's attacking and putting in Sling Gang. So, again, this is a free way to sacrifice goblins, so I'm never getting bridge triggers. And it looks like, well, there's a nice Nature's Claim, but unfortunately for me, this Breakthrough is going to get Pyroblasted. So I should probably account for that and discard. I'm going to discard Stinkweed Imp. And I guess I'll still discard Icarid. I'm not going to use it this turn, but let's keep the graveyard out. So Min's able to do a lot of damage to me, unfortunately. Oh, I forgot to play a land. Whoops. Okay, well that was a pretty big misplay as far as misplays go, because my plan was to attempt to break through and then have that fail and then Coliseum anyway. So we're not going to do that because we need Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so at this point I'm going to, since I know about Pyroblast, I'm going to Coliseum myself. 1, to, and the third one I naturally drew, and we will discard a bridge, only one. One bridge, a grave troll, and a stingweed imp. I will use the Narcomoeba. At this point I'm considering whether or not it's worth sacrificing the Narcomoeba to nail the Pyroblast, because it also forces Min to use this. If you look, he has 5 damage. He's technically 10 damage here, so I'm going to name Pyroblast. He did not sacrifice the Singing in response. So, might be alive. He has to attack. I'm blocking Slinging. Sacrificed it, okay. I lost the bridge, of course, which was expected. Now I have, I'll always yield to these. So I have a Putrid Imp to exile here. And I'm also going to exile my Stinkweed Imp because I have a Grave Troll. And I plan on discarding this bridge from below. Yes, and I hit an Narcomoeba. Great. So at this point I can break through for x equals 1, which is a quadruple dredge. Or I can do a more modest Cephalid Coliseum play. I know 2 of the cards in Min's hand are Ether Vial. I don't anticipate there's another Pyroblast. So either way I'm playing Cephalid Coliseum, so I'll play that. And then I'm going to break through for x equals 0. X equals 0. So now I can just go Stinkweed, Grave Troll, Grave Troll, Thug, because I have 6 cards left in library. Okay, I hit Hogak, which is nice. And I will discard my entire hand. So I only have the 1 bridge because obviously I only have 2 bridges. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attack with Icarid. 1 Icarid. Actually no, I have... Do I have any Cabal Therapies? I have 1 Cabal Therapy. So I can attack with 2 Icarids. Then what I can do is I can Cabal Therapy. I'm going to name Munitions Expert. I'm not concerned about the vials at all. Leyline of the Void, of course. It's not really where he wants it, but it's there. And then I tap these 2 zombies, exile 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get myself a Hogak. And then Icarid dies, and I get a zombie. And now I should have the board stabilized. So that wasn't the world's cleanest dredge playing. Obviously, I missed a land drop, and I'm sure I sequenced some things poorly, but see how that works? GG's. So Min said GG's, and he's banning dredge, so I cannot play dredge again. Fair. So up next, I'm going to play Can Bomberman, I think. Hey everyone, we are back for round 2 of MinMax battles. Min has banned dredge, so I selected Gyruda Bomberman for my second deck to battle Min with. I wonder what he has chosen. He could still choose goblins again. It is a legal deck of his choosing. Since I did not win, I cannot ban anything. What does this hand do? It does turn 1 Cavern, Petal Mox Chalice, or Azorius Signet. I think this hand is a little, it's missing something. The problem is that this Mox Opal is going to be hard to get to 3 artifacts because you have to sacrifice this Petal early on to make a 2-mana play on turn 1. So I could go Cavern, then have Signet, and then the turn after I could technically Chalice. Or I could, because if I go Chalice, then I don't have 2 mana for a Signet. So I'm going to mulligan it. This hand is also pretty bad. It doesn't do anything on turn 1 at all. I'm going to mulligan 5. This hand is better. Keep. And then we'll put away LED and Ballista. So depending upon how Min opens, I'm either going to lead on Warping Will or Chalice. Underground Sea. So, Cabal Therapy. So that means Hogak. I have a feeling that my choice of card is taken away from me. Yep. Min named Chalice of the Void, so it's gone. It's out of here. In this matchup, it's worth noting that I can Stone Coil for 0 to blow up Bridges from Below. But right now what I'm going to do is play a Stone Coil for 1 and play out this Mox Opal, because this means I'm an artifact away from having Metalcraft. And I think that's relevant. I could have also gone City of Traders, hold up Warping Whale for, a careful study, just like that. But I don't think that that was a winning line because I would have to blow up my City of Traders to play the Cavern of Souls. Min discards a Bloodghast, brings it back, fetching, maybe got another careful study, or a Stitcher Supplier or something. Of note, I can Warping Whale to exile this Bloodghast if he does not use Cabal Therapy to take my Warping Whale. And exile is a lot better than destroyed in this matchup because Bloodghasts have a knack for coming back if they're not destroyed. Let's see what he does. Also of note, I can blow up. Yep, second careful study. So also of note, I can blow up Bridges by creating a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion and then sacrificing it as a mana ability. So Bloodghast can't block. Ooh, that's good. I'm 1 mana away from casting Urza. I'm also going to do this now, just while there's no shenanigans going on with getting a Hogak down or what have you. Any artifact off the top. Actually, that's not true. any non-creature artifact off the top. Any 0-mana artifact off the top, or a land, I should say. And I've got Urza online. It looks like Min has probably got a second Gravecrawler and then followed by a Hogak is my guess. Yep, there's the Hogak. So of note, this little Stone Coil can keep attacking in. Ugh. So another card I can't cast. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not blocking, so I might as well attack. Uh-oh. So Min can do me some serious damage right now. Of note, I did not spend 3 mana just now to bring Garuda back to my hand, because I didn't think it was necessary to do so. I could just get Cabal Therapied away. Okay. So Min sacrificed Hogak. He hit a bridge. Another Gravecrawler. I'm essentially dead at this point. Can combo kill me out. Can watch him do it a little bit, but what he will do is he's going to... Okay, he's going to sacrifice Gravecrawlers first because they're essentially free. He hit the second bridge. So at this point it becomes trivial. What he can do is he can cast Hogak, sacrifice it to altar, make 2 more zombies, sacrifice it again, make more and more zombies, and then kill me. Paying costs. So I just told him to let me know when he's explained on his video what he's doing, and I will concede, because I am deterministically dead. Alter mills, Hogak casts. So Hogak mills for 8, and generates 2 zombies upon its demise, and only requires 5 cards exiled, so you fill your graveyard incidentally while making more and more zombies. And then I die when he starts turning the mill on me, milling me for 8s, and then throwing zombies at me, milling for 2. And those 52 cards quickly become 0. Okay, so generally speaking, when you have an opponent with a deck that's named after a card, Meddling Mage is usually good against it. The exception, of course, is Delver. So these cards are pretty good in the matchup. I'll also bring in Tormod's Crypt. The reason being is that I land a Karn, I'd rather, like, wish for something like Ensnaring Bridge. So I'll bring in the Tormod's Crypt. And then cards to cut. Stone Coils are so-so. Of note, let's look at Min's sideboard. He's got Force of Vigors, Assassin's Trophies, Abrupt Decays, Okos. So a lot of my stuff is going to get destroyed. I think Warping Whales are a little bit too low impact. Stone Coils likely are too. Even though they dodge the Abrupt Decays and stuff themselves, they're just a little bit weak in the matchup. So I'm going to sideboard like that. I want to keep in the Ballistas because they help combo. Of note, though, as a pass the turn win with RX Salvagers, you can make infinite mana with LED and then cast an arbitrarily large ballista or arbitrarily large Stonecoil Serpent. 200, trample, whatever, protection, multicolored. So that is a cool feature. This hand is, I would love it if it had a second land, but I think it's just a little bit too weak. This hand is better. I will put away the Lion's Eye Diamond. So obviously I have a choice of going turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 Containment Priest. It would look like that, but I think that due to my mana restrictions of the Containment Priest requiring white mana while my only permanent mana sources are blue, I'm pretty much priced into doing a turn 1 Containment Priest followed by a turn 2 Chalice, which is not ideal, but that's what we gotta do. Grave Crawlers in the graveyard. Not too scary. So we flash in Containment Priest. Of the Art does not stop Hogak, but it does stop, Stitchers, or stop Grave Crawlers, Bloodghast, Vengines, those kind of things. I will attack with Containment Priest here. The fact that Min did not block means to me that his plan is to cast another Stitcher Supplier and then cast a Hogak. He just needs to build up cards in the yard and then gack it. Actually, yeah, let's do this now. I still want to get like a land blown up by a Force of Vigor mid-combat or something. Just kind of want to get that in play. On my end step, so there's a chance that Min is going to do a Dryad Arbor here. Abrupt Decay or something, I'm guessing. Assassin's Trophy, yeah, I don't have any basics. So, wrecked. Look, yes, no basics. Whoops. Forgot to put basics in my deck. Very embarrassing. So I'll get this right out of here. Of note now there's a Hogak in the yard, so if Min ever gets to a point where he gets 2 creatures in play, then I am in trouble. Of note, though, beneficial to me, he can't cast 1-drop successfully. Check. Chalice checked me on Moto. Okay, so now I am going to play a little bit conservatively and put out a second Chalice on 1. There's an argument for saving it for a little bit to try a Chalice on 2 because I could stop future Assassin's Trophies and Bloodghast from getting cast. But I would rather play around a singular 1. Okay, so at this point I'm going to name Human, I think. I don't really... Actually, I'm going to name Demon because of Garuda. But I'm really just jamming out ballistas. And at this point, yeah, okay, see? Abrupt Decay on Chalice, but since I played a backup Chalice, I am currently still set. That's technically a Dryad Arbor. Looks like he's casting a Vengevine, yep. Taking it. Urza, that's a nice one. So I should... No, I didn't. I did the other one. So of note, right now I cannot make 4 mana, but I can make 3 mana. So I think I'll do that and put Garuda into my hand, and then I can cast Garuda next turn. I think that's worth more than just randomly attacking for 2. So Min's going to attack me with Vengevine, which means that he does not have a second creature to play. Ancient Den is a nice one, means I can just tap the Chalice to cast the Garuda. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tap Walking Ballista, The reason being is if I hit an REX Salvagers, I'll want access to white mana, and Urza can only create blue. Hit a Ranger of Eos, which I think I will take. Yeah, I'll take the Ranger of Eos. I get this other Ballista from my... Get up to 2, but I only have, you know, the 1. So now I'll attack for 8. And it looks like we're going to lock this game up and move on to game 3. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, now Hogak's coming down, but that's okay. I mean, you can't use mana to cast Hogak. That's on the text of the card. So Hogak is down. Not a problem to me. Could we just attack? We've got, you know, well beyond lethal. Okay, so sideboarding for game 3. Do we want to do anything different? I don't think so. I think that our plan was pretty solid. Hope for a powerful, like, my ideal draw would have something like 4 mana on turn 1, where I can jam out, you know, like a Karn, and then like do a turn 2 lattice kind of deal. Like, that would be really powerful. The fact that Assassin's Trophy blows up anything is a little annoying because I have no basic lands to fetch, but that's okay. I think this is a keep. Just because it's double Chalice. And so if he Cabal Therapies me, it sucks, but if he Thought Seizes me, it's okay. And he might also just be advancing his own game plan on turn 1. Blue mana, Hedron Crab, okay. Crab is pretty scary though. Crab mills hard. But yeah, this is, got a Chalice here. And then kind of hope for the best. If I draw another soul land or piece of fast mana, I'm going to try to get this crab off of the table ASAP. Vengevine in the graveyard is also a bit scary because that means Min can just try to cast 2 creatures. You don't actually have to resolve, he just has to cast them. Mox Opal is kind of nice. Because what it means is that I can now also play Ballista here. Do I want to do that? So here's what I'm trying to consider. If one of my chalices gets blown up, I lose Metalcraft. And so I think it's worth... I'm going to name human. Actually, no. Yeah, human. I'm going to sacrifice my City of Traders as a little bit of Metalcraft insurance. And I can use Ballista to pop bridges on the fly. No, you did not have any way to blow up a chalice. Which is a good problem for me to have. Let's see, LED off the top would be probably among my best draws. Even though I can't win with Salvagers this turn. Oh, Crypt. That's a good draw. Let's name demon on this one. The Tormod's Crypt is pretty hilarious. So I'm going to attack with Walking Ballista here. Because if Min wants to block, then I can kill this crab. Of note, with salvagers, I can kind of continuously rebuy. Okay, so Hogak got pitched. My chalices are getting blown up. I will still have 3 artifacts as long as I do not lose my Tormod's Crypt or my Walking Ballista. Let's see what Min's going to do. Crab, yep. It's 2 black or green creatures, doesn't have any so far. Okay, I'm losing my salvagers, that's rough. Now he will mill himself. Throw Hogak down. He doesn't currently have any way. Nope, it doesn't work, man. Need black and green, bro. Okay, and then I think I'm going to still do human on this one. Going to attack first. Then I'm going to put Gyruda into my hand. So I have demon mana right here. And I can still, since I have the Ancient Den, I can still use Tormod's Crypt as needed. As long as I am careful to not let him get any of his grave crawlers or what have you into play. City of Traders. Yep, let's Gyruda. Pew pew. Okay, Ranger of Eos, Meddling Mage, or Vengevine. What do I want? I think I want Meddling Mage. And I think what I'm going to do is name... I don't think he's anywhere close to casting Hogak. But I'm going to name Altar of Dementia. Even though 2 of them are milled, I think it's still the scariest card. Yep. I'm not going to throw away my Ballista at this point. Careful Study is fine by me. I'm guessing it's not the best cards getting milled here. Hogak and Swamp, yeah. So at this point, all I have to do is just try to kind of close it out fast. Card. That closes it out fast, I think. Let's play a card. Look at the sideboard. So we have a few options here. We could get liquid metal coating, start shutting things down like that. Could get Lion's Eye Diamond. But either way, it can land its next turn, so that doesn't really seem necessary. I think that my best bet is to do a liquid metal coating, and I'll shut down one of the green. So at this point I can attack with all of these. This also, Karn shuts down altar, so I have kind of that double covered, which is nice. So at this point, Min's going to force a vigor, I think, or Assassin's Trophy or something. Yeah. Killing my Tormod's Crypt, which means that I must use it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down a Bayou. And I don't know what Min can do off of one card here. He's banning Doomsday. Okay, so I will, I'm up 2-0. I will see you all for the next round. Alright, here we are for round 3. Even though we won the last round with Gyruda Bomberman, Min banned Doomsday, so I'm running it back. I won the die roll this time, which is very fortunate. However, I have 2 mana producing cards in this hand, but nothing to get me started, so I have to mulligan. This hand has the combo, but again, it doesn't really have anywhere to get started, so I have to mulligan to 5. This hand is definitely going to be a keep. I need to figure out what to put away. I think since the mana sources are colorless, and white, Urza has to go. I'll also probably bottom the Ballista. So I'll keep... Oh, crap. I meant to keep that hand. I accidentally mulliganed it. I'll keep this one. And I will this would be an incredible 5. I think that my plan, however, revolves around a turn 2 Urza. So turn 1, Ancient Tomb, Signet. Just jam that out, no reason not to, I think. See what Min is on. Misty Rainforest could be anything. Underground Sea could be running. Oh, it's the same matchup again. Look at that. That's fun. Seed of the Synod is a really nice one here, because it means I do not have to sacrifice my Lotus Petal. Just get to play an Urza au naturel. I can't use Gyruda yet. I only have 2 mana available. But yeah, that's turn 2 Urza is still pretty good off of 4 cards. Cabal Therapy, Stitcher Supplier, Bridge from Below, so Min has some serious action going on. Stitcher Supplier, oh jeez. And a Hogak. So Min has the capability at this point of Hogacking me. And it might just get even worse. So you can Cabal Therapy himself to get something that he wants in the graveyard into the graveyard. And then cast Hogak, assuming he sacrificed the crab to do the Cabal Therapy. Yep. He's Cabal Therapying me. I think he should hit himself here. Could be naming Abandon Hope. He named Abandon Reason, which is also a good choice. And there's the GAC. Okay, so at this point I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Is it really 8? Let's recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn. If it were 9, I'd be able to get rid of it right now, but it's not. So at that point, I think I'm better off spinning. In case I hit a land with Urza, I want to keep this Ancient Tomb in my hand. I hit an Urza. Can be cast, played until the end of this turn. So I'm going to attack with this Urza. He blocks, which loses him the bridge. But either way, the bridge is going to go as soon as I cast this Urza, so blocking was correct. And now I could technically play Ancient Tomb and summon Garuda now, but I don't want to play into another discard spell, so I'm just going to play the Ancient Tomb and pass. It's worth noting that even though these two constructs look like they have 10 toughness together, if they both chose to block Hogak, what would happen is one of them would die, then so we go 5 and 3. Oh wait, actually it'd still survive. I was thinking for a sec that what would happen is it would become a 4/4, and then with 4 damage marked on it, and then die. But fortunately that's not the case. Uh-oh. Let's see if he hits bridges. Okay, no bridges so far. He's going to throw Hogak out. Where's the Hogak going? Still no bridges. Nice. You can recast Hogak, of course. And I think that triggers the Vengevines. Unless he's cast 2 creatures already. Or maybe no, he hasn't cast enough creatures yet. Did not hit a bridge, fortunate. So let's see. My best draw is probably Karn. Salvagers. Salvagers doesn't actually do anything right now. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Garuda. And cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Salvagers or a Vengevine. I think at this point I take the Salvagers just to have it in play. Yeah, I think that's better. Milling the graveyard deck is always a risk, but I think I'm okay here. Any LED and I win on the spot, assuming that I live to untap, which is a big if. Uh-oh, yep. I'm almost certainly dead now because Min only has 19 cards left in his library. So yep, there's the bridges. I wonder if he actually still has enough to mill me out. got a pile of bridges now. So I'm going to always yield to these just for time's sake, while I determine whether or not I'm dead. So 48 power of zombies is what kills me here. 48 power overall on me. So that's 6 times 8 is 48, so 6 Hogaks is one way to think about that. Min has 31 cards in library, so that isn't hard to do on its own. So I'm well past dead, I'm pretty sure. Min has the 3 bridges here. And Walking Ballista. See, at this point, what Min can do is cast Hogak. Oh boy. I will concede. He's got me dead 6 ways from Sunday. Okay, so let's redrive the sideboarding plan. I like Crypt, I like Meddling Mage, and I like Containment Priest. I don't think Stonecoil Serpent is necessary, and I don't think Warping Wells are high impact enough. So we'll board like that. Sure, Min is boarding similarly to how he did last game too, with Abrupt Decays, Assassin's Trophies, Force of Vigor, that sort of thing. And so that was a mull to 4 on my end, which is obviously it wasn't intentional. I meant to mull to 5, but it's still a pretty powerful showing for this deck on 4 cards. So what does this hand do? It does a turn 1 Chalice and turn 2 Meddling Mage. I think it's a keep. So I think we go LED, Mox Opal. We save the land for last to make it that we can't get Force of Vigor on the Mox before it comes down. Even though this is a very Force of Vigor exposed hand. Where Min can blow up both my Seat and my Chalice for maximum pain. And given the long stop on my end step right now, it looks like that's exactly what he's about to do. He blew up the Mox Opal instead. Close. I mean, it's functionally the same thing. It shuts me down a mana. Stitcher comes down. 2 altars get milled. City of Traders is pretty convenient. I'm going to play it and just not do anything, including not Gyruda to my hand, because I think that there's a chance that I'll Gyruda from the sideboard using LED at some point. So next turn, if I draw a mana source, I'm very likely 3 altars in the graveyard now. I'm very likely to jam this Karn down and do something with it. Signet. So this makes it easy for me to just Meddling Mage Hogak. And then next turn I will Karn. Not sure what I'll get yet. I might even plus. We'll see where things will end up. And there's also a chance that I'll just get LED or something. I was going to Karn, but now I'm considering that Ballista may be a better choice. Alright. I know what to do. So first Karn. And I'm going to I'm going to plus it. I think I am going to plus it, and then next turn I can use LED. To use this LED to make a lattice. I'm going to cast Ballista for 0 here to just get rid of this bridge. That's worth it to me. So it's pretty straightforward to do. Underground Sea in play. Vengevine gets milled. It's pretty scary. See if 2 creatures can come down. Obviously Hogak can't, which is nice. A zombie in the yard now, so that's 1 creature right there to cast. If he has another creature, then I'm in bigger trouble. Altar. Yikes. Oh wait. Whew. Karn. Saved by the bell. Okay, so now I can Microsoft Lettuce. No, I cannot. Oof. So I lose those 2. Rough. If I draw a land, I can still Lettuce. Didn't. So at this point, I have a few choices. I have 5 mana available, basically, so I can step in Ensnaring Bridge. I think that's what I'm going to do. Then I can hopefully set up a lattice the next turn. So these now creatures aren't hurting me. Lattice will take a little while to set up, actually, because I have to plus Karn somewhere in the middle here. Meddling Mage, of course, means that this turn I can get attacked. I think I'm going to get a Ballista here. Or I could get LED, but I think it's better for me to get Ballista. Alright, only the Citrus Spire can attack. That's not so bad. I was thinking for a sec that Gravecrawler could also attack because of this LED coming to my hand, but I can play that. It's free. And hopefully next turn I do not lose all of my power. And I'm able to get this. So next turn I need to plus. I can potentially plus on Ensnaring Bridge because there's nothing that's going to kill Ensnaring Bridge that's as a creature that's not going to kill it as an artifact. Also of note is I can like Karn plus on a 0 mana thing to blow up a bridge. But I think right now I'd rather just plus on nothing. I'll plus on Ensnaring Bridge. What's the worst that could happen, they say. Okay. Of note, oh, Dryad Arbor just got milled. I was about to say Min could fetch a Dryad Arbor and attack me, but he can't. Lots of blood gas in the yard now. So those would come back eventually, but they can't attack yet. So nice, we hit a crypt. Perfect. Right on time. Nothing weird can happen now. Then we're going to discard our hand. Wish with Karn. Get some Microsoft lettuce. And hope that locks up the game. GG. I'm gonna run it back for G3. Min was about to say he's gonna ban Garuda Bomberman, but this is just game 2. He's still more than capable of beating me now. It's game 3. He's on the play, which is of course the more powerful place to be, especially in this sort of matchup. Like getting a Chalice in under the 1-drop is just like so critically important, or it can be. So things like that are cool. Hopefully we can have a solid game here, though. Min will be on the play. I will reveal Garuda. Can't forget to reveal Garuda. I've got a Chalice. Got 3 Chalices. 2 Ballistas. A full house that I'm going to mulligan. This hand is better. Kind of funny. It's one of those hands like I know I'm going to keep. I just don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. So I could throw back the... If I throw back the LED... You know, I think I'm going to throw back the Salvagers. Because that lets me sequence the Chalice better with Seed of the Synod and LED as my other artifacts. Okay, well, the hand got picked apart. Thoughtseize gets better and better as your opponent mulligans down. So no more Chalice for me. So right now, I am not going to run out this Mox Opal or LED in an attempt to play around Force of Vigor. Next turn, I can do all the things and play Urza. Careful Study. Discard a Bloodghast, and the Bloodghast is now in play. And he's fetching, so probably another creature, maybe a Stitcher Supplier or something like that. Gravecrawler, okay. Crocus is a nice one as well. So let's go LED, Mox Opal, City, and then we'll play Urza. I'm just going to kind of hang back. Technically, I could tap LED for blue, tap Construct for blue, sack LED, and spin Urza, but I don't think that's worthwhile. I think what I'd rather do is do something with my Garuda next turn. So I'm losing Urza. It's fine. Now let's see how much mana I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I draw a soul land or an piece of artifact mana, I have 9 mana available. Although it looks like I'm losing all my mana. Very sad. Oof. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to play out the an Ancient Den. I'm going to play Alcida's Sign On. But I'm going to get rid of it to my hand now. The reason I played that out is because if you look at Min's board, he's got a bunch of 2-power threats. And I want a 3-power blocker. 3 toughness blocker, I should say. If he attacks with both, I'd block the Gravecrawler because he doesn't have another zombie. At this point, I think I'm going to attack. I think that the longer the game goes, the less favored I am. Yep, so trading damage, but hopefully I can draw something sweet. Lotus Petal's quite good actually, it just makes my construct bigger. I will play the Caracas out in case there's a Hogak coming to town. So now we're just kind of doing a race where I have a 5/5. And at least I can invalidate Hogak with a Caracas. I'm going to make sure to name Demon with this cavern. Yep, I'm just going to Karn. Okay, so we'll still name Demon. 1, 2, 3. I think I tap the Caracas. And what I can do here is I can I'm going to attack for 5 and then get a Ballista for 2, which is not lethal, but it at least prevents too many shenanigans from happening. But now it's lethal. But he's probably going to get a Dried Arbor to block, is my guess. Force of Vigor, okay. So, Hurtful. Although not uncalled for. I'm going to +1 on nothing. And we'll see where it goes here. He might just attack the Karn down to prevent me from wishing. Or means if I wish I can't use Karn. Gravecrawler, okay. Walking Ballista, that's a nice draw. So now what I can do is I can plus Karn. I want to make sure I want to plus Karn here. Yeah, I want to plus. Plus on nothing. So at this point what I can do is I can block the Bloodghast and shoot both Gravecrawlers. Which means that they won't be able to be recast unless there's another zombie. Making sure I want to block and not just attack on the crackback, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is correct. Another Ballista is a nice draw. I think I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to plus Karn. So at this point, hopefully I can find a mana source and then lattice. So I can land a lattice, I will win. So combat, Bloodghast goes at Karn. I will just do that. Bloodghast comes back. Classic Bloodghast play. Assassin's Trophy on Karn. As we've established, I don't have any basics. Ranger of Eos is a great draw. I think I have 2 more Ballistas in the deck. Just 1. Oh yeah, there's one in the graveyard. Okay. That's fine. I will just attack with this Ballista. Trying to make sure even if a Hogak comes down, it's not the worst thing since I have a Caracas. A second Bloodghast doesn't do anything. I can't attack, I can't block. Yeah, just taking that. Not particularly concerned. That was a nice draw. It's Ballista for 3 before a Dryad Arbor can get fetched out. I can use this Ballista to shoot the blocking Dryad Arbor. And I've got the match. So next up, Min is going to play against my ninjas, because that's the last legal deck. I will see you all in a minute. Hey everyone, welcome to the 4th and final round of this. Actually no, it's not the 4th and final round. It is my last deck, but if Min beats me, we could keep going for a while. But I am on blue-black ninjas, and Min could be on anything. I'm going to keep his hand. It's got a Force of Days, a Brainstorm Strix, an Ingenious Infiltrator. It's got the game plan. Hopefully it's just not like Cavern of Souls Goblin Lackey. Okay, it looks like it's a blue deck. I wouldn't be too surprised. Hogak again? Oh, Min. You dirty dog. I am going to actually force pitch Brainstorm here. The reason being is I think I'm going to need to kind of cheese this game out, and Dace is going to do that better than a Brainstorm. Retrofitter Foundry is a nice one. Yeah, I think I basically need to make sure that Min doesn't do much of anything. And that involves this. Prevent Min from playing Magic. Or whatever Hogak is. Does Hogak count as Magic? Probably does. Cabal Therapy me. Okay. He might hit Strix. Probably looking at my deck list right now. We can also check out right here. Looks like he named Ponder. Brainstorm was a nice draw. I'm not going to use it, even though actually, you know, I am going to use it, because if I hit an Ornithopter, I would like to have cast it, but unfortunately I didn't. So at this point I'm going to put Infiltrator below Baleful Strix. and essentially not crack my fetches. I'm going to play Changeling Outcast next turn, which on the fly I can sacrifice because it's a Changeling, so it's a Thopter, and make a 4/4 as well, which is nice. So I can pop bridges that way. And of course it's a ninja, so we can do cool ninjutsu things as well. Changeling Outcast, our favorite legacy playable card. This is a Vengevine, I'm going to daze it. Tap draw. So at this point I am going to do the infiltrator thing where I just flip the unblocked Changeling Outcast into my hand and throw Ninja into play. Of course it exposes the Changeling and prevents I was going to say and prevents bridge from being blown up at instant speed, but I found an Ornithopter, which of course also synergizes Retrofitter Foundry to create instant 4/4s and instant speed dead creatures. Extremely convenient. Oh wow, okay, so now we attack. I'm gonna fetch. Do some ninja-ing. And so these each see each other, so I draw 4 cards. It's a lot of cards. I think at this point what I do is I cast Ornithopter and leave open Fatal Push because the only way I can lose is if something very weird happens. Of course, Changeling Outcast would be a win by more. Yeah, see, if something else gets cast here. Or something else gets cast, Vengevine gets triggered, but we're okay. Cool, we got that game. So against Hogak, these cards all seem great. What don't I want? I think the Force of Negation is not great. Daze, even though it was like fine, that game is pretty slow on the draw. Fatal Pushes are kind of so-so at best. So I think I could do something like this, where I bring in the Plague Engineers, the Grafdigger's Cage, the Ashiok. Keep the Force of Wills to just kind of slow the game down a little bit. And leave in 2 Fatal Pushes. Keep the Retrofitter Foundries. Not bringing it back to basics, even though it is, I think, good in the matchup. I think it's just kind of too slow. I mean, let me rephrase. I don't think it's good in the matchup, even though it hits the Hogak lands, because it's too slow. This is good. So turn 1 Cage. Turn 1 Cage. Turn 2 Changeling Outcast and Ponder. Turn 3 Rico, Min is on 5. Cards. Four cards. Is this it? Am I going to 4-0 the Min-Max battle? Almost feels like bullying. Poor Min. Gravecrawler. Okay. So at this point, we go Cage. Oh, something that's funny to note, even though it's not going to come up here. So Containment Priest says if, like which I was playing in Gyruda Bomberman, if creature, non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. If you ever play against ninjas, siding Containment Priest, because ninjas come into the battlefield uncast. So they do not Containment Priest shuts down ninjutsu real hard. Of course, I don't have a third land. It's my turn 2. I don't know why I tried. Just savagely cheating. Land gets fetched for Min. I wonder what he's going to do. Careful study. It's a good start. Of course, I had to fetch because he didn't have access to blue. Double Hogak. So Hogak does get shut down in the graveyard from Graph Digger's Cage. Crab, yeah. So at this point I could do some changeling stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the crab. Ponder. Technically I should have done this in a different order, but I don't think it's a huge deal. I'll keep the Infiltrator on top. Because this way it deals 4 when I flip it to Eureka. And then next turn I can do a lot more damage. Because Changing Outcast is also a ninja, so I'll be drawing a... Oh man, alright. Telling Min to let me do the thing. Telling Min I'm sorry it was so rough. Yeah, 4-0 is a... He did open with his least experienced decks. So that's kind of what happened here. And that is 6 cards off the top. 1. Hit. Oh! I should have brainstormed in response to maximize my odds of hitting a big card, like a Force of Will or what have you, but that's okay. Yeah, so this was pretty powerful showing, especially from Garuda Bomberman. You can see why I enjoy these decks so much. I'm a little sad I never got to showcase Doomsday, but maybe I'll record a league with the Predict Doomsday list so you all can see that soon. Because I know it is a lot of fun. Oop, there's a Plague Engineer too, but yeah, anyway, this is... This is, as they say, very lethal. I'm going to brainstorm so that I can just, like, put a pile of 3s on top. So I hope you enjoyed this Min-Max battle. Maybe next time Min will absolutely destroy me. I love this ninja stack. Look how many cards it draws. So silly. So yeah, I got the match. I 4-0'd in the min-max battles. And let's do a quick recap of the decks that I played. So I opened up with Dredge. I did some pew-pew graveyard things against goblins. Oh, get my prize money. Love prizing. 20 tickets, all up in here. Yeah, so started off with some dredging. Dredged up some goblins. Then switched over to Bomberman. Min switched over to Hogak. I succeeded in beating him with Bomberman versus Hogak. He banned Doomsday, so I put Bomberman back into it. We played Bomberman versus Hogak again. And then I switched on to Ninjas, and since Ninjas is a fair blue deck, I think Min figured that Hogak also had a good shot against it. We had a very close game 1, and then game 2, Min multi 4, and I slammed a turn on Graph Digger's Cage. So we got it. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully we can min-max battle again soon. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.